And good morning, everybody. How are you? Coast to coast, around the world, across the nation, wherever. This is worldwide, actually. It's the Alex Bennett program, the Great American Podcast. And we're ready to go with another program. This is number 3 for us. Each day we get a little fancier, we get a little better. Pretty soon we'll be so much like TV you'll want to turn us off. But see what we got now? Look at that. See? Albert's getting really good now. Lower thirds. That's what they call lower thirds. Remember before we just had choppy call, Alex? Look at that. Nice work, Alex. Albert. Ooh. You know what happened? What's been
Just
happening?
don't call me Liana.
No, I won't call you Lee. No, I won't call you Liana. Here's what's happening. I'm not getting any sleep because I go to bed. When I go home, I immediately post the thing to the podcast, and then I start going for graphics for the next day and videos for the next day and so on. And you ever have this happen, Albert? You're in such a whirl that you just can't, you can't go to sleep. Or when you finally do go to sleep, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about stuff and you can't go back to sleep. So I'm exhausted. So I can use the 2 days off because we're doing 3 days this week. Then we're back next week. We're going to do 5 straight days. We're going to do 5 straight days till about the end of the month. So we're going to be here every day, as I hope you will be as well. Now, I don't know what kind of numbers we're going to get today because people are out on the road and or maybe they've watched this piece of crap and don't want to watch it again. But hopefully we'll get ourselves some pretty good group of people out there this morning. So far, there are 222 of you, although I don't think I need to let you know that kind of stuff. I want to show you something here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me get out of this picture of me doing a horrible television show and go to this. My wife, among the shows we watch, I told you we like MasterChef. I don't know why. Please don't even ask why. But girlfriend likes it, and I like it, so we watch MasterChef. But that's not our other big show, and I actually had to force her to watch this, and when she did, she was stuck on is Shark Tank, which has since become a fairly big show. It's like one of the hottest shows on ABC. And so one of the guys who came on that show trying to pitch, I don't know if you've ever seen Shark Tank. What it is, you got these 5 extraordinarily wealthy billionaires. Well, actually, there's one billionaire, Mark Cuban, and the rest of them are kind of like millionaires, And people come in and pitch some products and say, "Do you want to invest in my product?" And then they either tell them it's the worst thing they ever heard of in their life, or they fight over who's going to be able to invest in the damn thing. So this guy comes on, I can't remember when, about maybe 2 seasons ago, and he's got a thing called "I Want to Draw a Cat for You." And he had these cats he drew, all right, doing things. Well, my wife loved them. So she sent away for something. What you do is you write the guy, and I don't know, for $9, $10, I don't know how much it is. You tell him what you would like. It's so-and-so's birthday. Could you do, "I want to draw a cat for you for a birthday"? And then he will draw a cat for you for so-and-so's birthday. So she started sending away for stuff. And I tell you, we have our whole bedroom, the wall, I should have taken a photograph of it, is about 8 of these pictures that she's had made over the last year or so. Because she's gone crazy for "I want to draw a cat for you." And she went out and she paid him to do this one. Go to, there we go. There you go. Let me get the little, see? There it is. How much is that? $9 or something. But he does it all by hand, and they're all numbered. And then when he does them, he puts them up on the internet. That's how I'm showing it to you now. And then he sends you the original. All right?
You're in the wrong business.
Well, you know who invested in this thing? Mark Cuban invested in this thing. And I hear the guy's doing really well. In fact, he's now selling stuff to, what do you call it, greeting card companies and so on. But anyway, he made most of his money off my wife.
Where's the cat? Is that a cat?
So there's the, here's the cat. And he's saying, "It's July 1st. Welcome to the show." And this is Great American Podcast. And he drew a cat. It's the same cat on all of them, by the way. Would you pay for this, Albert?
No.
You like cats.
I do like cats. But that's no better than my drawing. That's the problem.
Well, why didn't you think of this? Because he's doing okay.
Well, I'll bring in the Alex Bennett drawings that I've done. Over
I
the
think he
years.
has a whole crew of people now drawing the "I Want to Draw a Cat for You" drawings. But anyway, so I thought I'd show you that this morning, so you could get an idea of what my wife's spending our hard-earned money on. Anyway, we're up to 252. We're getting there, Albert. It's building. It's building this morning. Let me see here. What else? You're going to Cape Cod, you lucky son of a bitch.
Looking forward to it. I have a friend.
Let him
who's
see you. Let him see you.
Gourmet.
When you talk, let him see you. There you
It's
go.
just me.
Yeah.
Going up to Cape Cod, a friend who's a gourmet chef.
Turn the mic up a little more too.
It's actually not the mic. The mic is up all the way. It's I have to be in it, so you're gonna.
Oh, so
cut me off.
you disappear. I see. Yeah.
I'll hold the microphone. That's good.
Yeah. Well, we found
Willie
something
will
Willie's
hold
good
the
for, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cape Cod, yeah, I can't wait to get out of here. Not that I don't want to be here, but I really am looking forward to getting out.
I could use somewhere to go this weekend.
The Hudson River, they're having fireworks. Have fun.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted me to jump in it.
Well, you can jump in it too.
It isn't the East River anymore?
No, this year it's the Hudson River.
Well, because I liked it when it was in the East River.
But you should see it because they're doing a special thing this year. The Empire State Building. the
Well, wait a minute.
lights are
You
gonna
have
be-
some footage. You have some footage there of the
No,
fireworks.
that was last year's.
I know,
this
but-
year the Empire State Building is going to have choreography with the lights at the same time as the fireworks
Really?
because
Maybe it is better to-
16,000 different patterns.
Maybe it is better to stay here rather than to like when you come back on Sunday night. Isn't that going to be a problem?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem going up and it's going to be a problem coming back. But
Yeah.
I'll do it anyway because I get to get out of the city.
Yeah.
So
But I'll be sitting here in the city and watching the fireworks from my apartment.
have a good time.
I will, but I wish I were going to Cape Cod.
Well, I'll tell you all about it. when
I'll
I
tell
get
you what
back.
I'll do instead. I'll go to Long John Silver's. That'll give me kind of a feeling of Cape Cod.
All right, here we go.
No, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. They got problems at Long John Silver's. Like that wasn't coming a long time ago. Well, Albert, I think it's that time of the morning where we stop being just funny and take a look at the news.
Wait a minute, I can't find the news open. There's so many. What happened to it?
Did it disappear?
I don't know where it is.
It should be
Oh,
there.
wait, here it is,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, here it is. There it is. Let me try it again.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
take a look at the news. Yes, absolutely. We take a look at the news, and leading off the stories this morning, doctors. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, doctors. No, I wanted the other doctor.
Sorry, I blew the bit. I forgot he was there.
And then I'm supposed to say, see, here was the joke. I'm
Right.
supposed to say, no, not that doctor, this doctor. Went good in rehearsal, didn't it, Albert?
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that went after that in rehearsal, so I forgot this.
Yeah,
part.
right. Well, anyway, this is Obama. You know, when you've got a plan and you get it passed, and things go pretty, you got your way. And everybody then says, all your detractors are saying, well, the whole thing's a piece of crap, and it's no good, and it's terrible. The last thing you want to do is go, yeah, it is a piece of crap. But that's essentially what this guy, I have to learn how to do this. This guy. There we go. I know how to do it now. It's over here, right? This guy here. I'm going to get this down sooner or later. This guy yesterday said to all the companies, one of the things in Obamacare was that companies over a certain size by a certain date, which was coming up very shortly, had to get health insurance for all their employees or face a very stiff penalty, okay? And this was going to be the hard and fast, we're going to make sure America gets covered with their health care because they should. And if a guy has a business, he should cover his people. Now, the small businesses, some small businesses under a certain size were exempted. There are about 200,000 businesses that come under this law. And he just, yesterday said, well, we're going to hold it off just for a little bit. He was doing his droopy dog. Well, I made a little mistake. And we're going to back off. Well, now, of course, the Republicans, they're apoplectic. This is like heaven. Because this guy who's been defending his health bill against all the other Republicans who think it's terrible just said, yeah, it sucks. What is wrong with this guy? This guy. See, I'm doing it right now, right, Albert? This
Looks
guy
good to
here.
me.
Huh?
Looks good to me.
Yeah. What's wrong with this guy here? By the way, if you're listening to the podcast, you really should watch the video. This guy here. What is wrong with him? What kind of pussy has this guy become? I've said it before. I'll say it again. I voted for Shaft, and I got Urkel. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I'm amazed at just how, ridiculous it is. Anyway, so where were we? Oh, so let me get back to this whole thing. So in this health thing, he's letting go of this. Who knows what he lets go of next? Before we know it, it could be the whole damn enchilada. But
He's already let us down on the NSA thing, on snooping on citizens.
Yeah.
So this is number 2.
Yeah. Can we call him Snoop Doggy Prez now? Is that possible?
Call him whatever you like.
Yeah. By the way, can we turn the air conditioning down? I need a little more cool in here. Huh? Yeah. Again,
You want it cooler.
Make it cooler in here.
You want it cooler.
Yeah.
As opposed to turning it down so that it's not as strong.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The semantics.
I have to show Willie my old style of turning the air
Well,
conditioning
what
up or
used to
down.
happen with Albert, I used to say, well, you turn the air conditioning down, and he would say, okay. And he wouldn't do anything. Because there was not, even if you moved this little lever up and down in the studio, it didn't do a damn thing. It was just there to make you feel good.
It might have actually been a security camera.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's the same thing as when people, do you ever notice when people go to an elevator, they push the button not once, twice? But, it works if you just push it once. But they do it twice. Anyway. But it did make me feel cooler, Albert. I have to say that much.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Let me see here. Where were we? Oh, yeah, so Obamacare. Do we have anything more I have to say on Obamacare? I don't think so. All I'm saying is this guy is becoming a wimp, okay? An absolute wimp. I don't know where that photo came from, but it's all over the internet. I mean, Drudge has been using it, everybody. And I'm sure that's not, that's not him. But for people who are, again, listening to the podcast, we have a picture of Obama. And he is got his arms folded, wearing a doctor's outfit. Okay, so anyway, let's see here. What else do we have here? Oh, George Zimmerman. He's still on trial, and they're arguing whether his injuries were consistent with what he said went on. I was constantly pounded in the ground, and boy, it gave me such a headache that I had to shoot the guy. It's kind of, what can I say? It just goes on and on and on. But I'll tell you something, man, Al Sharpton is making it his whole show. I mean, it's like the first half hour, like it's the most important. It's like it's the Scopes monkey trial, for crying out loud. It's like it's the Lindbergh baby trial. It's like it's, I don't know, a Judge Judy show. I mean, it's just, he's just acting like it's the biggest trial of all time. And all this does is gin up problems, because what's going to happen is one day people are going to say, well, we don't like the verdict, and then they're going to start rioting. That's the big thing they're worried about down in Stanford, is that if this guy over here is found, you couldn't see that on the podcast, over here.
Picture of Zimmerman.
Huh?
A picture of Zimmerman.
Picture of George Zimmerman. What we should have for the podcast people is like a alternate description of what I'm doing.
Alex is pointing
Alex
to a picture of Zimmerman.
Alex puts his hand on his penis and gestures.
Yeah.
You know.
It'll become like
Yeah,
Mario
right.
reading the comics.
Yeah,
on the radio.
yeah. Yeah, like anybody here remembers LaGuardia reading the comics. There was a big newspaper strike years ago, and the mayor read the comics.
On the radio.
Now this mayor will think they're bad for children and won't read them probably. But anyway, that being the case, that's the case right there, George Zimmerman, and it just keeps going on. You know, it's going to go on like this for think about a month, something like that. You know, and really, it's for Class B murder or whatever it's called, Class B felony. So I mean, you know, he's not even gonna. It's not like he's gonna go to jail for the rest of his life either. But man, has he gained weight? Anyway, let's look at something else.
Before you go from that, what do you like better, the chubby shaven Zimmerman or the thinner unshaven Zimmerman?
I like that kind of scruffy,
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
you know, Mr. Law kind of,
Uh-huh.
you know, that kind of guy. Anyway, let's take it a step further here, folks. Let's go to the next story, which of course is a continual story in the ongoing saga of whistleblower Edward Snowden. And Edward Snowden, as you know, is that lovable scamp who found out a whole bunch of stuff about us spying on each other and other people and spying on women in toilets. I don't know, a whole bunch of spying stuff, and then let the world know about it, which put him on the lam from the law. He started in Hong Kong, and then he flew to Moscow. Well, when he got to Moscow, the United States revoked his passport so that he couldn't get into Moscow and he couldn't leave the airport, turning him into a virtual Tom Hanks. Okay, so he's sitting over there in Russia. I don't. I wonder what he's. I would love to see what he's doing in that airport, Albert. You know, I mean, it just seems to me like what's he doing? Eating peanuts or buying stuff from the newsstand for breakfast? Huh?
Pierogies.
Pierogies. I guess they may sell those at the airport in Moscow. You know, and the fact of the matter is that he's stuck there. He can't leave because he doesn't have a passport to leave with, and he can't get into Russia. So he's in that never land, like in the movie The Terminal with Tom Hanks, where he can't go anywhere. And that's kind of sad. Well, anyway, he has. First of all, let me play you some of Glenn Greenwald. You know who Glenn Greenwald is? He's the guy who originally wrote the story about Snowden for the London. Is it the Inquirer? What's the name of the paper there?
I think it was The Guardian.
Guardian. And he wrote this article, and of course everybody says you're a traitor too, even though he's British and really isn't a traitor. I think he's British. Maybe he's not British. Maybe he is an American. I don't know. But anyway, he was on Fox and Friends. You ever seen that lovely piece of crap? Yeah. He was on Fox and Friends being interviewed, and they had a few things to say. The first of which is that there may be some new revelations. Play that, Albert.
Question: do you think the Obama administration wants Snowden to come back to the U.S., or is that going to look bad for them to have him in a U.S. court?
I think what the Obama administration wants and has been trying to establish for the last almost 5 years now with the unprecedented war on whistleblowers that it is waging is to make it so that everybody is petrified of coming forward with information about what our political officials are doing in the dark that is deceitful, illegal, or corrupt. They don't care about Edward Snowden at this point. He can no longer do anything that he hasn't already done. What they care about is making an extremely negative example out of him to intimidate future whistleblowers from coming forward because they'll think that they're going to end up like him. That's their objective.
Okay, that wasn't the one I wanted, but that's okay because he pretty much puts down the Obama administration. He has an American accent, so I think maybe he's an American working for The Guardian. But I think he lives, maybe, if I'm not wrong, in Australia. I mean, he lives he's kind of a weird guy in and of himself. Do you have the first clip there, Albert? It was number one.
So you
actually.
say you have another big NSA scoop. Do you care to break it right here, right now?
Unfortunately, Eric, you're going to have to wait along with everybody else until our stories are published. But I will say that there are vast programs of both domestic and international spying that the world will be shocked to learn about that the NSA is engaged in with no democratic accountability, and that's what's driving our reporting.
Okay, so that's him talking about future reports, which may indicate more than we already know. Okay? Now,
Now, what kind of vast programs could there be out there that are going to shock us?
well, if they're
that they can't
American
release?
programs, they're probably half vast, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, anyway, so this leaves Snowden in a never land of not having anywhere to go. So he has applied to, I think, how many countries they say now? Something like 31 countries? But I have a list of them here, right there. Here are a couple of the countries. Austria, no. Snowden must submit his application for asylum on Austrian soil, but he can't get there because he doesn't have, Bolivia will consider it if there were a request. Of course, we would be willing to debate and consider the idea, said Evo Morales. Now, here's what happened with Bolivia. The other day, their planes were flying. I can't remember. Do you have it in here, Albert? Yeah. What happened was Bolivian officials say the President Evo Morales' plane, because he said, we'll consider it, was forced to land in Austria Tuesday after France and Portugal refused their air permits because they thought, you ready for this? Snowden was on board. Evo Morales said, no, he wasn't on board. But this is the kind of nonsense that we're involving ourselves in now. We're looking like real chumps. We're looking like real assholes, and look at this guy. I love doing this. Here, this guy here. Does he look really dangerous to you? Does he look like the super spy that came in from the cold? No, he's just some guy sitting there freezing his ass off in a Moscow airport looking for a older Russian hooker to keep warm on her hot flashes. Keep warm on her. Nothing, huh, Albert? No, nothing.
Not for that.
Not for that. Not even in kind of taking pity on a guy who doesn't have a job anymore.
Is that what you want, pity?
Yeah, I'd like pity.
All right, I'll see if I can find some pity.
Can we
back
create a little pity party here? I'm talking about myself and Snowden. Anyway, let's see here. Brazil. Okay, Brazil said no. Will not grant asylum to Snowden and will leave the request unanswered. That's rude. China, no official response. By the way, China does not have a bilateral extradition treaty with the United States, as we know, because this guy here, Snowden, was in China initially. Cuba, no official response. Ecuador, no, because Snowden must submit his application for asylum on Ecuadorian soil, and he ain't getting there. Finland, no, Snowden must submit his application on soil. France, no official response. Germany, no official response. Iceland, no official response. India, no. But would you like a beef jerky? Following careful examination, we've concluded that we see no reason to accede to the Snowden request. So they actually looked at it. Italy, no official response. Ireland, no. Netherlands, no. Nicaragua, no. Norway, no. Poland, no. Russia, Snowden withdrew his... Here's the interesting one. Russia, Putin said, we'll let you have asylum if you just won't trash the United States anymore, because we're kind of a partner with them. If you won't reveal any more of their secrets, and Snowden said to Putin, shove it up your little Russian butt. So he's still at the airport. Spain, no. Switzerland, no. Venezuela will consider. President Nicolas Maduro, visiting Moscow this week, says the country has not received a request for asylum. So those are some of the countries that supposedly he has asked about, which leaves the big question: where can Edward Snowden go? And I have a suggestion for him. Would you put up the flag, Albert? This place. What? This is the flag of Liechtenstein. Now, I've been to Liechtenstein. You've been to Liechtenstein too, haven't you, Albert?
Several times.
Yeah, several times. I've only been there once because you can see it all in a day, can't you?
You can see it all in about 2 hours.
In about 2 hours. I mean, if you're going to Liechtenstein, the hard part about going to Liechtenstein is putting the brakes on fast enough to not be outside of Liechtenstein. Let me tell you a little bit, and if Snowden is watching, I want you to hear a few things about Liechtenstein. It's the fourth smallest country in Europe. I thought it was the smallest. But that's after Vatican City, Monaco, and San Marino. But Monaco isn't a country. Monaco is a principality. Okay? So maybe it's the third largest. And Vatican City, is that actually a city?
Yes.
And is that a country all its own? Okay.
Yes.
Its population primarily Alemannic speaking, although its resident population is approximately one-third foreign-born, primarily German speakers from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, the other Swiss, Italians, and Turks. So you got a nice community going there for you, Edward, rather. There's only one television channel, though, in the entire country. So, you're going to have to watch whatever they want you to watch. But still, the Liechtenstein National Police is responsible for keeping order within the country. It consists of 87 field officers, 38 civilian staff, totaling 125 employees. The news surveys using newest surveys using the most accurate measurements of the country's borders in 2006 have set an area of 160 kilometers with borders 177.9 kilometers. Thus, Liechtenstein discovered in 2006, that's just a few years ago, that its borders are 1.9 kilometers longer than previously thought. So it's a bigger country than it used to be, Edward. Liechtenstein is situated in the Upper Rhine Valley. Show us a picture there. There we go. That's Liechtenstein. You notice right over here? Wait a minute. Right over there. That's Vaduz.
The capital.
That's the capital. That's also the only big city in Liechtenstein, which is probably no bigger than my hand.
Were you calling Vaduz a big city? That's a misnomer.
It's a metropolis. Let's see, anything else? It's limited natural resources. One of the few countries in the world with more registered companies than citizens. Okay. And the government of Liechtenstein, this is good, taxes both personal and business income and principal wealth. The basic rate of personal income tax is, ready for this, 1.2%. When combined with the additional income tax imposed by the communes, the combined income tax, 17.82%. So that's Liechtenstein for you. And if that doesn't sell you, Edward, on Liechtenstein, there's always the culture. There's always the music.
Oh ja, das ist die Liechtensteiner Polka, mein Schatz. Polka, mein Schatz. Polka, mein Schatz. Oh ja, da bleibt kein Liechtensteiner auf seinem Platz. Auf seinem Platz, mein Schatz. Da kann man schieben, sich in beide Augen sehen. Man muss sich lieben, denn die Liebe, die ist schön. Oh ja, so eine Liechtensteiner Polka, die macht Rabatz, mein Schatz.
That's the castle that you see from all over Liechtenstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never saw the castle.
Oh, yeah. That's
But
famous.
I didn't put the brakes on when I was going through Liechtenstein. Did you see this guy out in the street with his Ketron X? That's the name of his...
That's an official instrument of the old-time traditional Liechtenstein band?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I know... okay, come back to me. Come back to me. I can only inflict enough of this on these fine people, although we still do have the two accordionists left.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, have you got that one, Albert? Just play a couple of seconds of this one. This was in America. This was made. Looks like a Saturday Night Live bit, doesn't it? Okay, enough of that, Albert. Enough of it.
Is that
Enough
the
of it.
official beer of...
Huh?
Is that the official beer, Samuel Adams?
Is it? Oh, did they have,
Like they
they have a
Samuel
Samuel Adams
Is
sign?
that a Liechtensteiner beer?
Yeah, it's a very traditional Liechtenstein beer. So anyway, Edward, I think this is the country for you, and I think they'll accept you. I just do. I get this feeling that they don't really give a damn about anything because look how big they are, folks. Look how big they are. Well, not how big those are. We're going to show those later. Well, should we show it now? Let me explain this.
You said, look how big they are.
Look how big they are. No, come back to me. Now, here's the deal. I've been trying to figure out how do you get more and more people to watch this show. Like today, we have a few less people than yesterday, but I know it's coming up on a holiday, and I understand that, okay? But you all better be here on Monday. Anyway, here's the deal. I have decided that I have to infuse, right, Albert, a little bit of sex into the show.
There's got to be some
If we got a
titillation,
little
yeah.
bit of sex, it will draw some people to this. You know, they go, "Oh, Alex will have some skin on the show today." So I want you to just show the still here. Okay, this is our sex for today. I hope you enjoy that because look at her, very full of breast, right? Nice kind of waist there. You can almost undress this woman with your eyes.
And that sexy outfit.
Yeah, and you should see her moves. Albert, run it for us there.
Same fucking song? What is this?
Come on. Let our audience have time to masturbate, Albert. Don't, you know. We can now do this because we have TV. Now, obviously, she can't do this nude, otherwise she'd pinch herself. It could be dangerous. Yeah.
Are you aware that she was Miss Liechtenstein?
Was she?
Yeah, in 1956.
Hey! Yeah! Das ist der Liechtensteiner Polka, mein Schatz. Polka, mein Schatz. Polka, mein Schatz. I know this song already. That's the only lyrics it has. Do you know, folks, for you, what I did last night? I spent at least 2 hours getting all those versions of Liechtensteiner Polka. Okay? Sorry about that. We won't do it ever again. Let me see here. What else? Oh, there she is. You can flash that every now and then, Albert, just to kind of keep the audience there. They kind of like this stuff. Let's see here. WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. We've got the prosecution is resting its case in the trial of alleged WikiLeaks source Bradley Manning. Another guy that I feel they should take to the Oval Office and give a Congressional Medal of Honor or some kind of award, because between he and Snowden, they've managed to make this government as transparent as Obama said he was going to make it. Okay? The soldier is accused, as you know, of passing classified material to the website for publication. And he was originally slapped with nearly 24 charges, but wound up pleading guilty on 10 of them. Army prosecutors are looking for verdicts on the remaining counts, and the defense starts its case in the court-martial trial at Fort Meade in Maryland. We're going to be taking some calls soon, so you can start calling. The number there is on your screen. In fact, why don't we go to the phones? Be fun to start it now. Let's go to Sue in California. Hello, Sue.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
A little too early for all the Liechtensteiner polka music, Alex.
You know, you can't get enough polka music because it is the silliest music in the world.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, first of all, Glenn Greenwald lives in Brazil with his husband.
Lives in Brazil.
He's American.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's a constitutional genius.
He's a constitutional genius?
He is.
Well,
He's my hero.
Oh, okay. Well, give me some of his background because
That's all I don't know. All I know is that he's everywhere, and he's an expert on the Constitution, and he's just fantastic.
Now, is he an American?
He's an American. Yeah,
Who
he
lives in Brazil.
and he got married to his husband.
Yeah.
Because it was legal there.
Wait a minute,
and
he's
he lived there
gay?
with many, many dogs.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic guy. If you follow him, you'll fall in love with him. I mean, he's just everybody's champion.
Well,
he's wonderful.
He seems like he's full of piss and vinegar. You know?
He is.
But
and he doesn't care. And he'll say, "Bring it to anybody."
Yeah.
And when he's right, he's right. And boy, he puts he puts people to shame. You follow him, Alex. I think you'll be very impressed.
Well, it's funny that I haven't been able to keep up completely with him because about the time that he entered the scene and the whole thing started with Edward Snowden, I was getting fired. And my mind wasn't exactly on all the details of what was going on.
I know, Alex, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But you've come back from the dead.
Well, I hope so. I hope people will enjoy this little thing I'm doing here, you know.
All I have to say is I've been listening to you since you were on Sirius the very beginning.
Yeah.
I never called in. This is the first time I've ever called in because now I can get up at a decent time and watch the show. And I am ecstatic. And I love the show. I love you. I love Albert. And Monday was the happiest day of my life when you guys came back on the air.
I'm trying to do a little better version. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same radio show we always did, but now with all the wacky stuff we can do with the TV element on it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The only thing is I never really got up this early. Now I have to watch the television part of it, and it's really bugging me because I don't want to miss anything.
Well, you know what happens. I mean, this is I don't know what kind of there's a certain paradigm shift I've had to go through in doing this kind of show. And that is, you don't have to watch it live. You can watch the archives. You can see it that same day on your own time.
Right.
The only advantage to seeing it live is if you want to call into the program.
Exactly.
And if you want to, like you, and if you want to call into the program, that's a simple thing to do. And that's the reason we do it live, so we can take the calls. And then, the archives are a fine way to watch the show. I know a lot of people who are. And
I watch it live, and I watch the archives too. So I'm an addict.
This is something else that most people probably don't realize is that you can, all right. If let's say you're late getting into the show or whatever, I think you can back it up and watch it from the beginning. Yeah, like if you get here 10 minutes late or something, and I missed. You can actually just by bringing up that bar, bring it up back. I think, but I haven't had a chance to try it while I've been on the air.
I'll experiment with it.
So there are a lot of and there's another reason for people to call this program, and I need some calls right now, folks, at 212-604-9500 is because you get your name on the screen, just like Sue's name. And it says next, but she's actually who we're talking to now. Anyway, thank you, Sue, and I hope you call some more.
I certainly will, Alex, and good luck to both of you.
Okay, thanks
you. Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to need a hell of a lot more people than we've got already on this thing, but it's good for a start. It's good for a start. Let me see here. Where do we go? We don't have any calls, so can't take a call.
You know what we didn't show?
What?
We didn't show the Liechtenstein McDonald's.
Sorry I didn't bring that up. This may be the thing that, if Snowden is reluctant about Liechtenstein, this may be the thing that perhaps seals the deal. They have a McDonald's. And here it is on Facebook, the McDonald's Liechtenstein. Now, you may not think this is a famous McDonald's, but it was probably at one point the most famous McDonald's in the world. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, do you remember this, Albert? There was a webcam in the takeout lane of the Liechtenstein McDonald's that was one of the first webcams ever.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was the one in Liechtenstein. There it is, right there. And I love that picture. How old is that picture? Do you notice the McDonald's? It's like the old McDonald's, the one from
50s or 60s.
Yeah,
maybe
like one
50s.
of the really early ones. Yeah. So
he's
anyway,
saying, by the way, he's saying real good with a Liechtenstein accent.
Mein Schatz. Yeah. Okay, good. See, that's another thing we can do now, plus the fabulous lower thirds. Put the lower third again so they can know the number to call because I really would like to talk to somebody. It's funny. We have about 332 people watching right now. By the way, that number over a period of a couple of hours changes because people come and go, come and go, come and go. So if it stays in a certain range, we get something like 700 viewers up to the live show. But with that many people, even 332, there got to be at least two of you who want to call right now. So call 212-604-9500. Ain't too proud to beg. Where are we? Let me see here. Oh, I got something. Here's something I want you to see. And it's an important piece of footage. I found this on the internet last night. I go around looking for stuff off of YouTube, for instance, to play for you. And we've been talking about Egypt and about the uprising there, which, it's like, don't vote for the guy if you want to throw him out. I know he's done a terrible job. Didn't you know that was going to happen? He was part of the Muslim Brotherhood. And he's going to have a single-minded purpose, and he's going to put a certain kind of person into power under that. Don't you know that? Don't you understand that? And now, of course, you're yelling and wanted people to see that. I wanted to embarrass you because if you want to do something, do something. Let's see here. I want to hide this so you don't know what I'm drinking. Actually, it's Coke Zero with cherry. Hi, you're on the Alex Bennett program. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, hey, Patrick.
Yes. What's happening?
Oh, I'm just doing the show.
Just doing the show, huh?
Yeah, today feels more like the kind of show I would do.
Well, if I close my eyes and pretend that you're not on the air, it sounds exactly the same as just on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, this Morsi gentleman, if we want to use that term with him, what I find interesting is everybody knew what the Muslim Brotherhood was to begin with.
Yeah.
And I know you've mentioned this before, but I'm going to try to draw a parallel here. And probably going to be a little shoddy, but nonetheless. It's kind of like when we in the U.S. had the choice of Hillary versus President Obama. You had Hillary Clinton, who had scads more experience, and I still remember the ad that was the 3 o'clock in the morning phone call, which really was convincing to me, even though I wouldn't have voted for her, that I felt that she had more going for her and that I could trust her a little bit more. Well, so you've got her experience, and you knew what you were getting, but you didn't really know what you were getting with President Obama, correct?
Right.
Okay. So now you've got Egypt. They wanted to get rid of Mubarak, which you knew what you had, which wasn't great, and they elected this clown, Morsi, who, as far as I understood back in the day, last year, whenever he was elected, the people wanted more democracy. Am I correct?
Yeah, they wanted more democracy. That's what they fought for.
And more freedom and all
and yet
of
they
that.
turn around and they vote for this guy. I mean, you
and that's
don't
the
vote.
Thing is, if anybody knows anything about Sharia law, they need only to look at Iran and some of the other countries
Right.
where the Ayatollah is running. And I realize Egypt's not run by an Ayatollah, but when you put in a
Okay, but here's the bigger question, Patrick, and I think it's a good one to consider. And I've said it before. I hate it when people come along and try and push somebody out of office. Because I say you elected him. I felt this way about Scott Walker, and I hate Scott Walker. Yep. But I felt that there was something wrong about trying to get him out of office because he hadn't done anything really that had destroyed the state, maybe in some people's minds, but not in practicality. And you voted for him. You got to live with him for 4 years. And don't suddenly decide because you have buyer's remorse that you can kick him out of office. Now, I understand what's going on in Egypt because prices on everything are higher. People can't afford to buy food. I mean, it is the handling of the government is just pathetic because you got all these religious guys going around thinking if they pray, everything's going to get better. And so I understand why these people are out in the streets. They're suffering. But, you know, you probably voted for them. That's the other part of it. And if you voted for them, then you got what you deserve.
Well, right, and that's exactly it. And
But mind you, I'm all for them doing what they're doing, and I think it's terrific, and I think it should be assigned to everybody that you can do that. But, you know, please take a little bit of the blame yourself for the fact that this guy sucks, because you never vote for that kind of guy. You never vote for the Ayatollah. You know what I'm saying?
well, and now my point is, you know, I agree with you. You vote them in, now you got to live with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew what you were getting, and the same with, and I hate to say this, and I'm sure you look back and you realize this, even with President Obama, if there would have been another candidate for the Democrats, if, let's say, Hillary would have run it last time around, it probably would have been a better choice, because here we are again, and I've said this before, I support Obama because he is our president, but I'm not a big fan of his, as you know. But here we are stuck with him, and earlier in the show you were talking about, you know, what happened to him, and, well, nothing happened to him. He's the same guy as he's always been.
Yep.
And it's the same
Well,
with what's
you know,
going on in
when
Egypt. There's nothing changed.
When Obama was running, I was for Hillary. And the reason I was for Hillary is because I said this guy Obama may be a nice guy and all of that. You know, I have nothing against him, but he's an amateur.
Right.
And he's proved himself to be that amateur. I mean, this whole thing with Obamacare and with going ahead and suddenly saying, oh, well, you know, well, I guess it does suck. I'll back off on something for a while. I mean, he's basically admitting to all the things and all the bad raps he's been given about Obamacare. Now, the worst rap I can give Obamacare is that it's really not medical care. It's just insurance reform. That's all it is. There's nothing there allowing everybody to get adequate medical care if they're sick and not have to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was funny hearing that this morning, because I just got to sit there and go, yeah. And I'm sure there's people in Egypt doing the same thing that didn't vote for Morsi,
Right.
going, you know, we knew this was going to happen, but yet you people voted him in.
You voted
so
for him anyway.
I mean, I agree with you. I think it's great what's going on, but then again, I also believe in, if you elect them, to deal with them.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I better go here because I got another caller.
That's awesome.
Two
Get
lines,
all the
no
calls
waiting.
you can get.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Patrick. Have a good happy 4th. We'll see you on Monday. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Let's go to Jacob in Atlanta. Hello, Jacob.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Doing okay.
I was calling about Egypt. Morsi, what he kind of did, he kind of did the bait and switch on the people. If you remember when he got in power, he pretty much gave himself sweeping executive powers.
Yeah.
And threw out a lot of what was supposed to be a sort of balance between the different branches of government.
Right.
And the military just didn't want to go along with it, and he had problems with that from the get-go. And if you look at the people who are in Tahrir Square compared to the people who are protesting for Morsi, the people in the square, they're young, they're liberal, and you'll see women. You won't see any women protesting for Morsi or for the Muslim Brotherhood.
Right.
So that type of difference, and you're not going to see that type of protest here in America like that, I don't think, really, for a very, very long time, unless things got drastically bad. Because, unemployment in Egypt is a lot higher than ours. And it's when you start restricting the freedom of speech, which now they have a taste of, which they never really had before. And once you get a taste of that, you're not going to let it go easily.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Morsi's going to go one way or another. And
Well, I think
it
Morsi's
just-
going to go because I think the military wants him out too. And when
Yeah.
you haven't got your military behind you, you're gone. You're dead. I mean, that's what happened to Mubarak. I mean, he lost the confidence of his military. He lost the confidence of the people that were going to protect him in such a situation, and he was out.
You just can hope that there doesn't become an insurgency, and that the military is able to kind of control the borders, so that a lot of ammunition and arsenals don't start going into the Brotherhood.
Right.
Because when that starts happening, it's gonna turn into a civil war like Syria,
Mhm.
and that will be terrible for the region, and it'll just cause more problems. So really, I think if there was any country that America needed to help somewhat if it got out of control, I would say it would be Egypt way more than Syria.
Right.
Syria has there's too many moving parts and too many other players in it. With Egypt, there isn't as much.
They're about two moving, well, maybe three moving parts in Egypt. Hello?
There's three. What? The Brotherhood.
Well, you got the Brotherhood, you got you've got the army, and you've got the people. These the people who are
Yeah.
against them. So you got three moving parts there. But I think when you're talking about moving parts in Syria, you've got Al Qaeda, you've got a whole bunch of you've got Hezbollah, you've got just the rebels themselves, not affiliating themselves with anybody. Some of them. And it's a very complicated situation. Plus, you got the Russians. You got Assad. It's a mess there.
And
Hey, listen.
And another thing that they don't talk about as much, which is really, really sad, is
Yeah.
Egypt was a wonderful tourist destination. It was just when it was under control somewhat. It was a great place to go, see the pyramids and all of just a lot of historical things. That is just it's almost untravelable now.
Right.
It's a shame, and I hope that country gets it worked out. But I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, we need callers now. I know. Let me explain something about calling here. It could be a bit of a problem for two reasons. I need some soda. I used to be able to do this on radio, and nobody would know I was doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking all the time here. I'm talking for 2 straight hours. We got an hour left. You better start calling, folks.
Did you talk straight on Sirius? I have to admit I never listened because I never had Sirius radio.
Well,
It was
yeah.
up for.
Well, we don't anymore, right, Albert?
What? I didn't hear you.
We don't have Sirius anymore.
Oh no,
You
that
know what
went
they
off
did?
at midnight.
This is
Oh,
really.
they took your subscription away?
Here's what happened. What the minute we left, right? The radio went off.
Yeah, the day we leave,
Yeah.
midnight, the radio goes off.
Now, how much could it cost them to keep the radio on? Say, hey, thank you for 9.5 years and 2 months of service. Well, we'll just let you have the service. It's just somebody picking up the signal. You're the one that has to get the radios. No, they flick the switch. You're out of here.
I love corporate America.
Yes, don't you love it?
I love them.
But hey, listen, for 9 years and 2 months, they treated me great. They treated you pretty good too, Albert. Let's see here.
What were you saying about the phones? You were about to say something?
Oh, I was going to say something about the phones. Yeah, thank you very much for reminding me, Willie. They hear that off-screen voice. They don't know what the hell he's saying, but because this is a very directional mic.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to have my piercing.
And I don't want you any closer,
No, I'm not coming any closer.
Anyway, so here's the deal. We've got 2 phone lines. 2 of them. That's all we have here. Now, we're thinking about putting in 4. But when you have 2 phone lines, people keep calling, they get busy signals, they give up. There's another problem with people calling the show, and I didn't think about it till somebody brought it up yesterday. They're watching the show on their cell phone. How are they going to call the program without watching the show? You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
It-
so they have to get another cell phone?
They have to get another cell phone, to call me on the program.
Disposable ones.
And that's asking too much. So we're going to have to figure out something here. And we're also working on a way to put sound on hold here, too. But that would demand that we get more people watching us than are right now.
Yeah, but that would solve the cell phone people.
Yeah. But we're doing okay today. I expected to do a little less today because everybody's gone. Most people are gone, aren't they? They just left today. Took an extra day off from work. And anyway, let's talk to Doug in North Carolina. We can always count on Doug to call. Hello, Doug.
That's because I like your program so much. How you been doing?
Thank you very much.
Hey, can I make a recommendation on maybe a new type of hat to wear on for your show?
No.
Oh, come on. I was going to recommend like a coonskin cap. That would look good on
The
you there.
coonskin cap. Very good.
Anyway. Hey, just wanted to talk
See,
about...
he's wrong. In case people don't know who Dumb Doug is, Dumb Doug called my show almost every day and was wrong on everything.
Not everything.
Hmm?
Not everything. Maybe most things,
Your
but not
choice
everything.
of porn stars was horrible.
We're going to go back on that again?
Yes. I've
Oh.
seen this Bobby Starr. She's nothing.
What do you mean
You've
she's
seen
nothing?
her, right, Albert? You went and looked at her stuff, right? It was
3
her
words
stuff.
describe her.
Huh?
Hideous.
Hideous. That should be her new name. Hideous. No, she's not. What do you see in her? What? Because I mean, I like to know what the masturbation fantasies are of my audience, and I would like to know what you see in her.
She's kinky as hell. That's
Can
why.
you find her on the internet, Albert? Something that's not naked? Because I really
Is
would
it
like
1 R or 2 R's, Doug?
It goes either way.
Bobby Starr. It would be 2 R's if it was porno.
Yeah, BOBBISTAR.
Yeah. If you can find one that's not naked, Albert.
Or Dana DeArmond's another one.
Or
too,
some
I
picture
like.
where she hasn't got something in her mouth. It would be nice.
Or up her butt.
What?
Or up her butt.
Oh, I see. Now you're going to get crude about it, huh?
Oh, no, that's kind of like her specialty there.
Her specialty?
Actually,
How is that a specialty?
watch one of her films. You'll see what I mean.
I've seen her films. When you said watch her, I went and watched it, and it was, there was nothing there I could,
No, we just have different tastes and all that. I mean, I was just like one of them that came to mind.
Well, give me another porno actress that you think is superb.
Well, actually, I like the ones from back in the early '90s. Before all the fake breasts and all that.
You mean your mother?
Yeah, Bianca Tiana was one. I like Tammy Ann.
Tammy Ann?
Sharon Mitchell.
Well, I knew. Hey, wait a minute. I knew Sharon Mitchell. She was a friend of mine. I knew her.
Yeah,
I was one of the first people ever to photograph her naked.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching. So I was there on that website called X Hamster, and I was watching some old Sharon Mitchell. Like the Taming of Rebecca was the name of the movie, and Rebecca Brooke was a porn star from the '70s.
Boy, when you can name these pictures and you can have, it's just like there are people out there who are like Star Trek fans who know less about Star Trek than you know about some porn films.
Yeah, I mean, all got to have our little specialties there. So, and plus, being a traveling salesman gives me a lot of time to look it up there. So, but anyway, less serious subject than porn. I want to talk about Egypt a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember when.
Wait, did you find the picture, Albert?
Yeah, hang on. Here it is.
Here it is. Okay, because I don't want to. That's her. Is that her?
Bobby's.
Oh, you can't tell because it doesn't come up fast enough out there. But that's her. That's who Doug thinks is hot.
Well, Bobby Starr, I remember you brought up that corporation, Kink.com or Kink Inc., whatever, where they have all those different, like that big building and all that.
Yeah.
She's a lot of those films that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I mean, I'm not the only one.
I mean, getting slapped and spit on and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, they got several different ones. They got like whipped ass is the one that's sort of like kind of like
Listen to
lesbian
him.
bondage.
He knows everything that's going on with these things. Can they hear? Yeah, you are.
And you know Sharon Mitchell, so we're
watching the men. It's not really about watching the women. It's about guys watching these brutes acting like gorillas and baboons, and that's what you're getting off on. You're not getting off on the women.
Can anybody hear him?
I can barely hear him.
Yeah, but reiterate it. No, he did you hear him?
I can barely hear him. I couldn't understand what he was saying.
He was saying, that don't guys just get off on these baboons like climbing all over this woman, and it's really about the guys. I don't think so. No.
No, I don't watch. I watch lesbian stuff. I don't like.
When it comes to
watching
Bobby Starr, I look at them just because I know it's his penis and it's not mine.
Yeah, but I don't watch straight porn. I watch lesbian porn. That's what I like. Sort of like what Paul Newman said in that movie Slapshot. Like,
well, I don't like lesbian porn because I constantly have this ringing sound in my ear going, but what about me? So.
Yeah, but I just,
Anyway, Doug,
that's what floats my boat. So if you want to know, so
I'm going to dump you now.
No. I was going to talk about Egypt. You took me off.
You were going to get to Egypt. Okay.
You kept getting me off track there, so it's not my fault. But anyway, it was funny when the Arab Spring was taking place.
Mm-hmm.
You had Fox News, the Sean Hannity's, all that saying this is horrible. The Muslim Brotherhood's going to take over, and all that. And first, the way I look at it, it's like, hey, that's a democracy. If that's who they voted for, fine, let them live with it. And then they started saying, hey, this is horrible. Obama's giving weapons to Egypt and to the Muslim Brotherhood. That shows he's really, a Muslim sympathizer and all that. Now it's the military telling this guy to get the hell out. So I wonder what Fox is going to be saying now.
Well, Fox is probably going to say, I told you so. Because they were all yelling about the fact that it was, this was going to be the Muslim Brotherhood and it was going to be a Muslim takeover. And this is what these people are yelling about, that in fact it is a Muslim takeover of the country. And
now the people are protesting.
What's interesting to me is that you have these big coups, and then they elect somebody to office, and then that person who's been elected to office, I mean, believe it or not, I think Saddam Hussein got into power that way, says, I'm going to be democratic and everything, and then with time, as he gets the power, he just gets corrupter and, more of a stronghold on the country. Morsi, I thought at least would have, if he couldn't be sincere, fake it,
Yeah. But he kind of came on, sort of like the way the Tea Party did over here, get some little bit of power, and then they think everybody's supposed to be that way. Yeah. So, anyway, watch plenty of Bobby Starr over the 4th of July holiday. And,
right. I'll be sure to do that.
Anyway,
I'll be all spent by Monday.
Yeah,
Thank you, Doug. Have a happy holiday, okay?
You do the same.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.
Let's go to Steve in Rhode Island. Hello, Steve.
Guten Tag, Herr Bennett.
Hello there.
As they say in Liechtenstein. Actually, do they say that in Liechtenstein? Do they speak German there? I'm not sure.
They speak, wait a minute, I have it here. Wait a minute,
Yes,
I had
they
my
speak
cheat.
primarily German.
They speak primarily German, but they also have a lot of other people there. It's the primarily Alemannic, which is Alemannic, which is
That's German.
Yeah. Although the resident population is approximately 1/3 foreign-born, primarily German speakers from Germany.
Alemania is how you say Germany in French, I think. So maybe it's French speaking.
That's the thing. I'll tell you what I never was able to figure out. What is the name of Germany?
Deutschland.
Right. Why do we call it Germany?
That's a good question.
Just to piss him off.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What's the name of Spain?
España.
Why don't we call it España? My name is Alex. I don't want to be called Alejandro if I go somewhere else. It's Alex.
You know what drives me crazy when you're listening to NPR and the people who have Hispanic surnames? They'll go like Maria Hinojosa, and so that's not your name. That's not your name in English. I mean, why are you putting a Spanish accent on it? I mean, my name's Steven. I don't.
Well, every day I'm forced to watch. Who's the guy with the dimple in his chin, dimple in his cheeks? Mario Lopez.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
Because my wife likes to watch that show, and he's going along fine. There's nothing Hispanic about him until he pronounces a Spanish name, and then all of a sudden it's Diego Rivera, And
I know. I just think that's
It's kind of like when Oprah used to whenever she had a white person on, she was very hello. How's things going? Is everything fine? And then when she'd have a black person, I was, how's it going, girl? And you're going, wait a minute. There's a dual personality going on here.
Well, I know that when you're with a group of people and they're speaking with an accent, I mean, it just sometimes is natural for you to sort of start emulating it just because you feel a little uncomfortable being, because whenever I'm in Ireland, I'm talking like to everybody in Ireland like that, but it's, I don't get it, honestly. But the reason I called was, two reasons. One, because you asked for phone calls, and two, because I felt really bad.
By the way, we can use some, Okay, go ahead.
Dumb Doug was on the line, so I figured, I can't get any worse.
Right.
So Glenn Greenwald, a lady called earlier, and she was talking about how great Glenn Greenwald is. I have mixed feelings.
Well, that isn't Glenn Greenwald, but he could get a still from that interview they were doing on
Yeah, but he's involved in the scandal, so
World,
that's why.
World
I put
News
this down.
Tonight. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about Greenwald because one of the things Greenwald has always tried to do is because he started off as a blogger, and he's always tried to establish creds or, considers himself a journalist, and that's all well and good. He may well be one, but what I've seen in a lot of this Ed Snowden thing is that Greenwald is interjecting, a point of view, and Greenwald hates Obama. So everything he does seems to he can't, play it down the middle as a journalist would. And obviously journalists have...
So what you're saying is he's not really playing journalist, he's playing pundit, really, an advocate.
Exactly, and that's my problem. And it's also a problem with a lot of other people on the left who, they call him Glenzilla. Because, he's an 800-pound, gorilla.
Well, is he to the right or to the left?
Greenwald? Oh, no, he's to the left. He's way to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he thinks Obama's...
But he does... Well, I don't like Obama because I think Obama is number one, he's weak. That's for beginners. He's weak, but I also don't like Obama because I really think he's doing a terrible job. He's letting us down. If he said government was going to become more transparent, which was one of the things he was yelling and screaming about, it certainly got more transparent with this guy over here, Snowden, going ahead and releasing the material he did, and yet the president isn't saying, "Good, we're more transparent."
I'm not a big supporter of a lot of Obama's policies, but unfortunately, what ends up happening is I end up having to defend him because the Republicans are such douchebags, and I have to walk that line of criticizing Obama while also, in turn, pointing out that it would be worse if the Republicans were running things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a conundrum, and Greenwald though wears it all on his sleeve, and I'm never going to consider him a real journalist until he stops injecting that bias against Obama in everything he does, even if he's right. If he's right,
even in that shot on that we played earlier from Fox and Friends. He took a shot at Obama.
Of course, and he always will. He despises Obama, but interestingly enough, it's from the left.
Now, why does this guy live in Brazil?
Didn't somebody say it's because he got married?
Well, he got married to some guy.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what. Yeah, I don't know. If he's such if he wants to, if he thinks this country is so wonderful and needs to be changed, I think it would be maybe a better position to be trying to change it.
And if he was living in Brazil, how was he working for The Guardian?
I don't know.
Or could it be that he found this guy, Snowden, went to The Guardian and said, "You want the article?"
If I'm not mistaken, he was one of the founders of that blog, Talking Points Memo.
Yeah.
And he brought that thing to national prominence.
Didn't they try to slime him recently with some kind of taint of porn or something?
Yeah. Oh no, I mean the administration hates him because the administration hates leakers pretty much more than anything else.
No, what they hate. I'll tell you what they hate more than anything else. Anybody that embarrasses them.
Right.
God forbid you should embarrass the United States of America.
Right. And I think, they considered Greenwald to just be, Snowden's enabler, and therefore he's tied to it. And, I'm sure if you ask some of these clowns in the Obama administration, and I don't know who they are, but they would be all for, bringing charges on him. That's Snowden.
Oh, look, Greenwald. I said this a couple of days ago. I think we were doing our test show. Maybe I did on the first show. If he went away, disappeared, went to another country, got asylum, stayed there for 10 years, and then came back, they'd probably give him a year suspended sentence. If he comes back now, they're giving him 30 years in prison.
Right, because as you said, he embarrassed them.
Right. But once people forget, and the people who are embarrassed I'm doing this because I'm trying not to sneeze. Who else on television does 2 straight hours in front of a camera, folks?
Exactly.
Can we shorten this show to an hour? By the way, our phone number is down there. I want to mention it. It's 212-604-9500. Give me a call because I really need people to talk to. And there are quite a few of you out there, aren't there? Well, yeah, less than there were, but enough. So give me a call.
Right.
What I was going to say is
Yeah.
that, given time, this thing isn't a serious deal. I love all these people that go, oh well, the America's been compromised, and this is gonna hurt people, and people are gonna get killed. No, every time they've said that, nothing has happened.
When the whole thing broke, my reaction to it was, no shit, Sherlock.
Were you surprised we were doing this?
Not in the least. And this is what's funny. I don't know. You always knew that the Bush administration was paranoid, and that they were snooping on everybody. But it seems to me that the Obama administration is even more so, and I just don't get that. I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
I don't know who is it. Obama is he listening to people that have influenced him? Did it come out of his own subconscious? I don't know,
right.
And I can't figure it out because Obama doesn't seem, or never did, seem to have that much interest in any of this type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unless he knows things.
Well, I just want to see where why a guy who is making things more transparent would be an anathema to a guy who, when he was running, said, "I want the government to be more transparent."
Exactly.
What it is. There's a similarity, believe it or not, between Morsi and Obama, in that they're one thing when they're running, and they suddenly become something else once they got the job.
Right.
Right. I mean, the president goes, well, I suddenly realized things I didn't know when I was running, and the realities of, what you knew was you got power, and now you can use it.
Yeah, I never thought. I always thought Obama was a middle of a center right, Democrat, and I wasn't expecting any kind of major changes, but I didn't have any idea that he would be just as nuts as Bush on national security, and who knew?
Yeah,
that wasn't the guy I thought we were going to get.
Anyway, I thank you for calling.
All right, have a good Fourth, and we'll see you Monday.
Okay, bye-bye. Hey, listen, folks, you got to give us a call. I need callers, 212-604-9500. I know there are people out there in increasing numbers, and it goes up and down, but basically we've got enough people out there that 2 people can call me. Because I like taking calls. That's what I'm all about. Most of these guys, there are guys who are afraid to take calls. They want to have people sit around with a discussion because they're afraid to take calls. We love taking calls. I love the interplay with people. It doesn't have to be about anything serious. You can just phone about something like a movie you saw last week. I don't care. This show is not being defined anymore as a purely political show. In fact, at iTunes, when they said, well, how are you going to identify your program? I put down comedy, which I think is probably overstretching my abilities, but I put down comedy. The Supreme Court, by the way, is at an all-time low when it comes to public opinion. After key rulings on same-sex marriage and civil rights, a Rasmussen report shows that only 28% of Americans believe the Supreme Court is doing a good job. I suppose because they pissed off 2 groups of people. They pissed off right-wingers and they pissed off left-wingers. With the court decision on civil rights, they pissed off the left-wingers. And with the gay thing, they pissed off the right-wingers. So, of course, everybody's going to hate them. But what I hate about them is they're predictable. I mean, if they're supposed to be unbiased, if they're supposed to have that same blindfold on that Lady Justice with the scales has, then shouldn't they be a little more less predictable than it's always going to be 5-4, one way or the other, depending on how Kennedy votes? Anyway, so that's a problem. Let me see. We got a lot of I haven't been reading the chats because they go by so fast, and it's really people dealing with each other. And it says here, Michael Skidmore says, calls are the livelihood of talk radio. Not really, but I love taking calls. I just love talking to people. Most companies don't charge for long distance in the 48. We were talking about that the other day. Remember when they used to have a radio show or a television show like this, and they go, call that number now, 212-604-9500, toll free. Well, it is toll free, isn't it? I mean, who pays for long distance anymore? That became a thing of the past. And you know what helped that? Oddly enough, was deregulation of the phone companies. And all of a sudden, everybody else got into it, Sprint and so on. And the bottom line was, hey, didn't have to pay for long distance anymore. And sometimes you don't even have to. Some places are now giving you 5 countries you can call if you have relatives there, and it doesn't cost you any more. So anyway, let me see. What else do I have here? Oh, let me. I got some calls. I better take the calls. I ask people to call, and then I don't take calls. Hi, this is Jerry in Florida. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? The most
Okay.
entertaining man on any form of media.
Oh well, thank you.
I
Are you
like
enjoying?
your,
Are you enjoying this?
Oh, I'm going nuts.
Really?
You're even more entertaining when I could see the visuals and everything and the stuff that you're putting up in the back, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And the whole.
Do you
thing
know
is-
how much more work this is than radio?
Yeah. Oh,
See,
it's
and of course we have her too. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay, enough of that. That's
Now, you have to remember that I
Katrina
came from Cleveland.
Stoven. What?
Pardon?
What were you saying, Jerry?
I came from Cleveland, Ohio, and when I was a young man,
Mhm.
I'm in my 60s now, and basically we had not a lot of TV programming, but one of them was polka varieties, which you had to, how shall I say, wade through to get to the next program.
Yeah.
So I've heard enough on that in my life to,
There was.
forever.
I used to work at a radio. The first time a radio station I ever worked at was a place called KTIM in San Rafael, California. And they did a little bit of everything. They had a man on the street broadcast. They had the Portuguese voice of Marin with this guy named Agnello Clementino. And I even remember I used to have to do the opening for it. And it was, the voice of Marin, Boatard and Agnello. And I also did the Rosary Hour, as we reflected in the life of our Lord and her most blessed mother. And they had all these different shows. And one of them they had was a polka show.
Wow.
And there was this one, just correct me if I'm wrong, but there was this one polka guy who was the biggest polka guy in the business, and his name was Whoopi John Wilfart.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And
Yes,
I thought
big
that was the
Frank
funniest
Yankovic.
thing I ever heard of in my life.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely. But anyway, I just want to congratulate you on it. I can actually see you for a longer time because previously, what you'd spoken earlier about before you were still on Not Too Serious.
Yeah.
About how, sometimes callers wouldn't stay on. Well, usually I was in a drive, and usually I caught Albert in one of his diatribes for the whole half hour I'm on my way to work. And so I figured, well, I'm not going to bother calling. Now I can see you. I think it's a little easier to access you and everything, just because of the fact that I don't have that small window. And the only thing I really, as you already know, I only bought Sirius because of you. I love Mark Thompson. Ed Schultz is okay as far as, listening to him for noon and on the way home. So I'll miss Mark because I'm basically going to get rid of my my Sirius, for good this time.
Well, I try to be magnanimous about it and say only get rid of it if there's nothing left that you want to hear on it.
Well,
if there's still
if you're
stuff you want to
gone,
hear, believe it or not, people canceling is not going to change my fate over there at all.
Oh, no. I didn't expect it would because, I work for a large corporation, in terms of our field. And the whole thing is that when you come right down to it, once a decision's made, the decision's made.
Yeah.
And, I'm not trying to make a statement or log a protest.
Well,
or anything.
they don't go back on it because that would be admitting a mistake.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly why Obama shouldn't have said what he said about his Obamacare yesterday. He's admitting he made a mistake, which I don't think he made, by the way, but he thinks he did.
The thing is, but you can't keep on pointing out stuff like that because, unfortunately, the opposition, loves pointing a finger back at you about it.
Right.
And they do that, in multiplicity. Of venues. But anyway, no, I really enjoy, listening to your show. Now I enjoy watching.
Well, we can also do we can do some visual gags, and I hope that the people who are listening to us on their iPods because they got it off of iTunes and it's audio only, don't feel they're missing too much. But if you are missing too much, you can always come over to livestream.com, look up the Alex Bennett Great American Broadcast podcast. I'm going to sneeze, and I can't.
A little sneezing music?
You know what it is? On radio, we had a button we could push and turn ourselves off, sneeze, and then go back on, right? I can't do that here. This is 2 hours of not going to the bathroom, of not being able to sneeze, of total and utter boredom and a waste of money. Anyway.
Well,
hey,
I don't know if you've seen those commercials on TV, but they do have the new catheters that hurt less.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I wonder, how much does it hurt to begin with? I imagine a
Listen,
lot. I imagine this is not any better.
Listen, I'm working at a studio where they can't run wire. Think about running a catheter.
Oh, wow.
I just got a dirty look from Willie.
Well, anyway, I'm glad to see that you and Albert have, turned this thing around and really doing well. And I'm looking forward to many years, hopefully. I'm using an iPhone, and it's working well.
Good.
The only thing I have, sometimes I do have a little trouble figuring out which one's a podcast and which one's the live. So I was explaining to whoever picked up the phone that, I do get a notification on my email from Livestream.
Right.
And usually that'll take you take me right to you, which is nice. So.
Well, what you're doing, what's interesting is, and I think I can do it here, is you can scrub through the whole show. I can go back to almost the beginning of the show. I can go back to the beginning of the show. So if you join our show late, all you have to do is take that bar at the bottom and just scrub it back to the beginning, and you can watch the show from the beginning. It's like having a DVR.
Well, another nice thing too is if for some reason I miss you because I'm seeing people, basically then I can go back in the evening and watch it.
Okay. Hey, listen, I got to go. Got another
I
caller
love it.
here.
Thank you.
Call back again. Let's go to
break a leg.
Okay, thanks. Let's go to Scott in Utah. Hello, Scott.
Yeah, catching your program with a little delay, but
Yeah.
I understand you just like having somebody to talk with.
I love talking to people.
I understand that. I've been listening to you. Well, I've had that 20-year break, but been listening to you ever since I first heard of you.
Mm-hmm. Where was that?
That was way back in California when I saw an advertisement on some building wall.
Oh, yeah, they put me up on every bill. They put this mug on billboards all over town.
You don't take requests.
that advertising campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back on KMEL.
Yeah, I came up with one that we used for a while, which was Alex Bennett isn't for everybody.
Oh, I remember that one, too.
That was when I worked at a place where they didn't keep you a secret. You know.
Exactly.
Over at Sirius, we had a PR department whose motto was, if you want to do an article on Alex Bennett, we won't stand in your way. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what's on your mind? Anything in particular?
And nothing in particular. You just like having somebody to talk to.
That's right. I just like somebody to talk to. So what do you do in Utah?
Right now, I'm doing freelance as a storyteller. I've done catering.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking care of my parents.
Oh, that's nice. Do they need taking care of?
My dad is 90 years old, so...
Yeah. I went through a 100-year-old mother. Okay, so
Oh,
I know what dealing with an aging parent is like. And in spite of the fact that they may be in the best of health, because that's how she made it to 100, it's still, it's still not easy. Because I remember one particular situation in which I was talking to my mother. I was out of work again at some point, and I told my mother, Mom, I'm going to have to go to New York. And she said, okay, well, when you're there, be sure to say hello to my parents. Well, her parents had been dead for 50 years. But, and then I said to her, I just offhand just said, Mom, your parents are dead. And she started going into a fit and crying and going crazy, like she had never found out that her parents were dead. So dealing with a parent that age, especially when they start getting dementia, because, look, if I live that long, I'm going to be that way too. I'll probably still be trying to do a radio show. I may be that way now. Right, Albert? Uh-oh.
No, not you. No.
No, not me?
Not you.
I'm not ready yet to go to the
Not just
home?
yet.
Oh,
Not just
okay.
yet.
But, I mean, it's not easy having an older parent. It's amazing. Anyway, listen, Scott, thank you for calling.
Okay.
We appreciate it. Call again.
I probably will.
Okay.
Got your number programmed in my phone already.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope all of you will program the phone in there, too. As I say, I think that there would be more people calling if they weren't listening to the show on their phones. And there'd be more people calling if there's a certain delay here. So when I say to you, I need calls, sometimes it can be, depending on how much you've scrubbed back. You know, if you want to go live, you want to go as far to live as possible, which is about, I think I timed it out once at 30 seconds. You can scrub the thing all the way forward and towards where it says live, and then you'll be able to go live. Let's take a look and see what people are talking about. I love Christina. Hope my heart can take seeing her live. She's promised to come down. We also, next week, see, this week is kind of trying to break everything in. You notice how much better the show looks today? It's because we've kind of gotten used to stuff, and Albert's now making up those lower thirds, and it's just, you know. But next week, we're going to really try to do some real shows. Not that we haven't this week, but I mean, really get into the swing of things. And there's a good possibility we're going to have a very good guest on next week that you, of course, would, if I told you it was, would make sure you were listening, and we'll let you know when we know. But also, Christina wants to come down and be on the show. And, you know, when I talk about we got to have some sex appeal on the show, well, she certainly has it, even though she doesn't admit it to herself. Let's see here. Does anyone
There's
watch?
sex appeal right there on your screen.
Who is that? Whoopi John Wilfart?
That's Whoopi John Wilfart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when I was a little lad many years ago, I wasn't very sporty, folks, and yet I wasn't slow. My mammy called me Pappy and my pappy called me fool. Laughed at every little thing that was against the rules.
No, I didn't work with this guy. It was just that I did this. There was a guy that did a polka show, and he used to play Whoopi John Wilfart all the time. So, Whoopi John Wilfart, king of the polka. Well, who was that guy we had from Switzerland, Albert, that was so popular?
Oh, I don't remember, but I know who you're.
He was like the biggest polka guy of all time, and he was a yodeler, and he was really good. He was really terrific. You know what we're going to do? If you don't call, we're going to play polka music. With, you know. Although we could probably find some video of the Shags somewhere, but polka music, that's what's going to happen. So the number right there is on your screen. It's 212-604-9500. 212-604-9500. What do I have to do? Beg? By the way, the audience numbers have gone up, Albert. A lot more people now. So they should be calling. Let me see here. I want to talk to you for a moment about where not to eat. This came out in the news yesterday, and the Center for the Science and the Public Interest has named the worst restaurant meal in America to be the Long John Silver's, what is it called? The Big Catch. Now, I wish I had a photograph of it here. I didn't put the photograph up of it, but the Big Catch is, they say, purely unhealthy. Here's what happened. It's a 7 to 8 ounce piece of fried haddock. Not tonight, dear. I have a haddock. Nothing. Okay. Still, you know, all no satellites, but the same puns. Long John Silver's Big Catch. Fried haddock, hush puppies, and a choice of a side. The version CSPI tested had onion rings as the side. The meal is so big that Long John Silver's encourages patrons to post photos on its Facebook page showing the empty Big Catch container to prove they finished it. The CSPI's lab test showed 33 grams of trans fat. There it is. We now have the ability to go to Albert's computer and find anything. There it is, right there. That's the big catch. It's only $4.99? Boy, there must be a lot of batter on there, which they say all comes from the restaurant's use of partially hydrogenated frying oil. The test also showed 19 grams of saturated fat, and you ready for this? This is why I did the graphic this way. 3,700 milligrams of sodium. It comes to 1,320 calories in the fast food meal. The Long John Silver website does include nutritional information. Considered by, ladies and gentlemen, the Center for Science and Public Interest, the worst restaurant meal in America, and I'll bet you that Long John Silver's does a lot of business now for this big catch. Because people, I even want to go in and try it, right, just to see what it was like.
I'll give it a shot.
We would have done it on radio, right? We would have
Sure.
sent, like, Liana out to go to big Long John Silver's and get that heart attack on a plate. Yeah.
But you really think, how bad could it be? It's fish. And there they go and throw it at you.
Yeah, well, they just the
horrible.
fish, and they breaded it, you know. So, whatever.
The old lady would have said, "Where's the fish?"
Exactly. So, stay away from that, folks. Stay away from that. Let's go to the phones here. Who do I have on the phones? Oh, no. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. Will in Wisconsin.
Alex, are you going to hang up on me again?
There we go. Okay, hey, our number again.
Will you please use the dial tone?
Oh, excuse
Will
me.
you
Wait a minute.
please?
Oh, okay.
Much better.
You've been trying to teach me that gag for years, haven't you?
That's the only way to do
Like
it.
when you hang up on somebody, you're supposed to go, "Oh, Will, goodbye, Will." Yeah.
Much better that way.
Yeah, we could get a dial tone at the other place. Yeah. You know what? You don't get a dial tone anymore. Do you ever hear that sometimes they'll do a bit on TV where somebody's on their cell phone and all of a sudden they go, "I don't want to talk to you," and you hear a dial tone? There's no dial tone on cell phones. Let me see here. Where are we? Oh, yeah. I was going to go to the phone, but it was just Will. Will, don't try and call this program. You're not getting on, okay? And Albert only puts you on hold because he wants me to hang up on you, which is very cruel of you, Albert.
You may change your mind. You never know.
See, I can do funny faces now on radio, on television.
Now do a funny face.
Thank you. He hates me. He just hates me. Don't you, Albert?
I do, and I always have.
And somehow it's the love that dare not speak its name. Anyway, let me see here. John.
Oh, no, it very much dares speak its name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the love that's called hate.
I'm going to go now for that little piece of video. I was watching Morning Joe this morning, and they showed this. And I said, nothing like stealing something from another show. Because a lot of people are watching me right now. Where'd everybody go? All of a sudden, there are only 122 watching? What happened? Are we're getting that close to the end of the show? Oh, no, 314. Excuse me. What it suddenly went down to like 100. I don't know what's wrong here. But anyway. So I saw this thing on the Morning Joe show, and I said, I immediately went to my computer and I said, I got to find this because they said it was off of YouTube. In Russia, every car has a camera in the car. And the reason it has a camera in the car is because people have a tendency to want to crash into you and then sue you. That's the big thing over there. So insurance companies tell everybody, go out and get one of these cameras that is constantly recording. So there are videos upon videos upon videos of people driving down the road. And occasionally something does happen. In fact, maybe I'll download some other stuff. They actually have a compendium of it somewhere, and it's really quite amazing. But watch this. Just play that. Start playing that, Albert. Look they're going down the road here. And this goes on for a while. It's a nice leisurely day. I don't know what the year 2025 is, but it's 2025 on there. And this is the camera in the car that's constantly recording just in case somebody tries to... Oh, wait a minute, watch out! There are two cows humping! Now, this would be horrible, but the cows just walked away. And even that one's stupid enough to walk when he saw the two others were hurt. Can we see that just again? I love seeing cows humping because cows are kind of silly. Look at this. Watch this. Here we go. Look at that. I don't know why it makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh. And the cows must be resilient as hell, because I saw this one that they had from Russia, where they had it looks like Bobby Starr, yeah, where they had a whole. Did you see that one with the whole I guess truck full of cattle, and it overturned and all the cattle fell out in the street and not one of them was hurt. I don't think they have a bone in their body. That's what I think. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Who we got on the line, Albert? Do you know? Do you have anybody? Do you have the name? Well, I'll just...
No, I was playing the video, but I did put it on hold.
I'll just ask who they are. Who am I talking to?
This is Mike in California.
Hi, Mike.
How's it going, Alex? How's it going, Albert?
It's going good.
Hey, did I hear you right yesterday that you're going to be on Mark Thompson's show?
No.
Oh.
No. He might come on here. I've talked to him about coming on here, and he said he would.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. No, but man, I love the new format, and I'm able to play you in my house, and even got my kids staring at you. So they're, of course, they were staring at you right when you were doing your polka sex thing. So that was fantastic. But no, man, love the show. You know, and I guess all I can say is, how about that Scott Walker, huh?
How about that Scott Walker? You know, I mean, I have no love for Scott Walker, but those idiots out in Wisconsin voted for this guy. You know, it wasn't like this guy went, "I love everybody, and I'm going to kiss puppies and dogs, and I'm going to be wonderful, and not going to do anything to the hardworking people of this state." No, he said what he was about. People voted for him. They elected him. And then when he got into office, all of a sudden these people want to recall him. I don't believe in that. I mean, I think you recall somebody if they're doing something illegal. If they're using their power in corrupt, horrible ways. But when they are simply doing what is their general nature as a right winger to kill unions and things like that, you voted for him, you morons. Live with him.
The only way to lose office in this country is to get your dick sucked by your intern. So unless you do that, you're freaking clear.
Yeah.
But no, I love the new program. I'm able to like I said, my commute. That's perfect timing, and I'll be here watching.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys have a good one, man.
And by the way, I can hardly wait till we get a guest on this program, because we can show them we have more than one camera. You know, like for instance, Albert. Show him you. See? Can you show him you? He never does anything I ask for. Just show him you so they can see that we have more than one camera.
Yeah, I was answering the phone, so.
Oh, okay. Well, just show them how you answer the phones.
I've already answered the phone.
You've already answered the
That's why
phone?
I couldn't show you me. But now I'm showing you me, so I don't have to answer the phone. But you have a phone call.
I do have a phone call?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I better take.
Kansas City. It's Larson.
Oh, okay. Larson. Hello, Larson.
Howdy.
Howdy. You never called the radio program, did you?
Once a long time ago. I've got kids, so being able to call was really, really hard. And I was just wanted to say, with your first week and all, thank you so much. You and Albert are amazing. I think it is so classy for the two of you guys to take all the crap that Sirius laid on you and to say, you know what, I'll go make my own job. And,
it's a credit to several people, and I guess in this first week, close to the end of this will be the last day we do this week. I got to thank Albert for even coming along on this Don Quixote type quest. You know, my Sancho Panza is just loyal and really I feel that somebody who's got my back, and I really appreciate that. But also, and I also have to thank Willie for helping us. He runs the studio here, and without him, nothing would work, and with him, nothing works. So and also to my friend Adrian Gruberg, who owns this studio, who's given it to us gratis, hoping that something great is going to happen out of this, and we can all feel good about it, and maybe make a few bucks to earn a living.
Sure.
Sure. And these people are just gems, following my stupid vision. And we put this together we got fired on a Tuesday, and by a week from about 2 weeks later, we're doing this.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think that speaks to, your character and who you are, and that's why when I call you, I like to refer to you as Dr. Bennett, because you deserve, an honorary doctorate for.
Well,
your
I'll
knowledge,
tell you,
your experience, and
I will tell you one thing. I have done this before.
Exactly.
I did this thing with a thing called Play TV back in 1998.
Right.
In which we did internet television every day, but nobody could get it because nobody had the technology wasn't there for people to get it at home, and so on and so forth. So a few people watched it, enjoyed it, and I learned all about doing this sort of thing there. So when we had to get this thing together in a week and a half, I knew exactly what to do, and all that had changed was the technology was better. It was easier to do.
Exactly, and that's why you're Dr. Bennett. You've always been ahead of the game. This is why you're a survivor. This is why you're going to pull this off, and I think you're in touch with two things. One, relationship, and then the whole thing about irony in our country. Lady Gaga you had on either yesterday or the day before doing that amazing rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and all I could think about was we're the land of the free, but we can't come out and protest like the people in Egypt because we're too afraid.
Look at those people in Egypt. Can we get another shot of that, Albert? I want people. Here's.
Can you see?
That's not Egypt, folks. There's Egypt. Look at that. Look at that.
I know.
I mean, it's like I can't begin. America, when are you going to be able to do that? When you can do that, we'll get the government we deserve.
Exactly, and then we can sing that song, the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes, exactly.
And until then, we just really need to shut the F up and move on with our lives. But anyway, thank you guys so much. And again, Albert, I think, is also amazing, and I appreciate all the work Willie's doing. I used to do Willie's job, so I know how hard that is. So.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, and good luck to you.
Okay,
all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, we still have time for a few more calls if you want to call. 212-604-9500, toll free, by the way. Although there's some people who still pay a toll, Albert, and am I biting off more than I can chew by telling them it's toll free?
No, there is a charge of some kind. But it's your bill is a monthly bill you get to call as long as you want. So it's essentially toll free.
Yeah. For all practical purposes. Let me see here. Do we have any other good stories here that I haven't mentioned? Megyn Kelly. You know who Megyn Kelly is over at Fox? She's a
Wasn't she the afternoon lady?
Yeah. I hate her because it's kind of like, let's say she's like Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS, but you're a Jew. But there's something about her that's extremely sexy, and I hate to get a boner over her because she's such a horrible person. And yet that's what Rupert not Murdoch, but Roger Ailes does. He stocks that pond with some of the hottest women. There's some women on, I don't know if you've seen this show in the morning, goes on about, 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. They got two women there. They're sitting on stools so their legs will show. They are two of the hottest women on television. And I know what they're doing to me. It's like me. I'm a Jew, and they're Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS, and they're prick-teasing me. I don't like it one bit. Can I take that call? Oh, he's clearing the call. So, but anyway, Megyn Kelly is getting a primetime job over at Fox. She's been doing her good duty of hewing the company line for years now, and now she's being rewarded. Isn't that nice? Okay. Let's go to, who is this? Mike in Pennsylvania. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good.
I just wanted to call and say I really enjoy your podcast. I picked up on you about 7 months ago on my radio in the car. I just came across you on Sirius, and it was really a different show.
Yeah.
For the liberal thought you had a nice mix, and I really enjoyed you. I'm sorry to see you leave, but I'm going to follow you on a podcast.
Well, you know, I thank you for that, and you know, I hope we live up to your expectations. I don't know. You know, it's funny. I call it a podcast because that's a term everybody's familiar with, but really, this is streaming video. This isn't right. What you're watching now live really isn't a podcast.
Oh, okay.
But we call it that.
Yeah, it's great. You're inspiring. I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah, well, you know something, I got to tell you, it's been good for me because as I said yesterday, I was kind of starting to feel kind of really old, you know.
I know. I can hear you.
Yeah, and even Albert said it. This is like it's taken 10 years. I'm not taking 10 years off my life. It's giving me 10 years on my life.
Right.
I feel like 10 years younger now. Because I'm doing stuff and I'm getting stuff together, and I came in this morning kind of exhausted because I didn't sleep well last night, and then I did start doing the show, and I'm fully awake. You know.
Right.
So
well,
I mean,
I experienced something like you. I lost my job at 62.
Yeah.
I'm now 67. I started my own little company. I'm a sales rep.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did it.
Well, you know, I mean, then you can imagine what it's like for me at my age to lose a job. Although I'm on radio, so I guess it doesn't matter. And you know,
I really, I just want to add one other thing. Your mixture that what I picked up on Sirius, what I really enjoyed, that you had a critic come on every Friday to talk about the movies.
Yeah.
And your guests were really interesting. It was definitely different than everything I heard on that liberal
well,
station.
we're gonna have guests on this show too, and but it's a matter of time of just being able to round them all together, and maybe even have more than we had.
Right.
And plus, we have 3 cameras, so we can have a guest.
I'll support you for that, definitely.
Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend. Have a nice 4th.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
All right,
okay.
now.
Bye-bye. Who we got on the next line, Albert? Who? Tom Yamaguchi out in California, the webmaster of the Alex Bennett program page, and you should probably do the other one too. You know the password.
Oh, the other one.
Same thing.
Oh,
the new one that we saw. I forgot to tell people this. We now have an email address.
Oh.
And it's simply podcast at nyc.rr.com. Podcast at nyc.rr.com. I would have had Albert make it lower third, but I forgot to tell him about this. Oh, breaking news. What was that? Scott Walker what? What did you put up? Anyway, and I also got a page yesterday that is you go to facebook.com/GA podcast. And I think that's it, yeah. And it'd be funny if I couldn't find it. And we're going to start putting stuff on there, too, so people can follow this program in particular. But it's a fan page, so, everybody can partake in it.
Oh, so you've got it. Are you saying you've got a new fan page up?
Well, I've got a fan page for this program. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
new address, podcast at nyc.rr.com. And Facebook, it's not GAP, is it? No. It's GA Podcast. Oh, I see. It wouldn't fit on that little silver thing there. Okay. Anyway.
Well, you got me thoroughly confused now.
Listen, no more than me. I'm working on fumes right now. We've been working so hard getting this thing together. How do you like it, Tom? Is it okay?
Yeah, I just figured out how to pause it. Thanks for telling me that. You can actually pause it. So as soon as I heard your voice, I just hit the pause, and now I can listen to myself.
If people want to call me, they can put the thing on pause, call me, talk to me. When it's over with, take the thing off pause and hear themselves.
Yeah, and hear how terrible they sound. Anyway, I just called because I found, actually going through the old fan page, I found a yodeler, Franzi Lang.
Franzi?
Franzi. It looks like it's FRANZILANG.
I'll have to look him up because he is the best yodeler I ever heard. Oh, wait a minute. Is that him, Albert? Yeah. But that's not. You don't have the video, do you? On him? No. Okay.
But we got the video
Oh, wait a
on the
minute.
fan page. Yeah, there he is. There he is.
It's Franzel.
Franzel. Franzel.
Oh, Franzel instead of Franz. Okay, that's an L instead of an I.
Okay, that's enough of that. Because we're playing it directly off the internet, it's a little chopped up there, but the sound was great, Albert.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, speaking of polka, you were in L.A. in the mid-'60s, right?
No.
You were not. Okay, because I thought...
Well, that killed that discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, Tom, I hate to rush you, but I got to go because I got to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll go back working on the page some more.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Tom, for everything you do. And if you want to go over there, you know the password.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
If you have problems, let me know. Bye.
All right, we'll do. Bye.
Okay. Our old friend Tom Yamaguchi. Well, that's it. I guess we've run a little bit out of time. This has been our first week. We've done 3 shows this week. This is work. This is real work. You know what I did before? We just, Albert prepares some stuff. I'd come in, we do the show and go home. This is something which I go home and now I got to put the podcast up. And, well, thank God for a couple of days I don't have to do anything to prepare for this show. But, things like the graphic in the back, Albert had to make up. Some of the other graphics I made up, so the video that gets downloaded, all of that. It's a lot more work than doing an old radio show, even though all we're trying to do right here is the same old radio show without the rusty old satellites. So anyway, I want to thank all of you for joining us. And let me do my closing, Albert, before we go to the clip. We thought we would leave you with a clip that is apropos of this weekend, even though it happened last year. Have a nice 4th of July, and if you see her, tell her I love her.